Ooh. We're here with another episode of Very Aries. Ooh, wow. Oh. Ow. Tessa, that hurts.
Ooh, more.
I'm sad.
Oh, that's not good.
My finger hurts.
It's
not good.
Get over it.
Get over
it. Just make it feel better.
Yeah?
Try to forget about it.
About it.
Anytime I hurt somewhere, I usually smack somewhere else, so that one will the pain will get transferred.
You're kidding me.
No, I literally do. If I hurt it over here, I'll be I'll forget about I just stubbed my toe. I'm yeah. I'm not kidding.
I just visualize. Oh, that's so funny because I could see myself really getting into that. I don't know if I want to though.
Uh-oh, someone's kinky.
Ooh. So, for those of you who are just joining us, welcome, and we're so glad you found us, and I hope you stick around.
Yeah.
To sum it up, we are two Aries. My name is Ross.
I'm Tessa.
And we're going to be talking about ourselves in various different ways, but we're going to make it seem like we explore a lot of things about life, but at the end of the day, it really just comes back to us. So,
well,
which is what you all want as well, because we all agreed we're interesting people, so.
Yeah, they're here for us.
That's right.
So.
And there's also the theme of it being somewhat astrology related, so I figured with our collective limited knowledge, we could just go ahead and pretend to explore some further topics in it, because I think it's important to clarify that while we both may have Aries sun signs, there are other parts to our personality called moon signs, and many others, but the way the whole astrology thing works is based on a position of where you were born and when you were born. All the planets in the solar system were in specific places in the sky, each one demarcated in 12 areas. And so the sun was in Aries when both of us were born, but our moons were in different places. And because the moon is the closest celestial body to Earth and to us, it controls us at an intimate, inner, private level. Ooh. The moon helps us understand how we feel, how we live with ourselves, how we navigate emotions, how we process things that are more than just our ego and how we present ourselves to others. It's more of the private, internal self.
This sounds gross.
Gross?
I want to puke just thinking about it.
I think it's a perfect time for us to introduce some parts to our moon signs. So, my moon is in Scorpio, which is exhausting. But essentially, I don't know how to put this into words very well, but I think if you keep watching this, and if you do believe that astrology does do its thing correctly, you'll notice that I'll have more different tendencies than Tessa in the way that my Aries thing comes about. I don't like the way I'm describing this, but basically, the Scorpio is highly suspicious, perceptive, and secretive by nature. They're focused a lot on transformation, and they're very private, because a lot of it is rooted in a deep kind of shame in a weird way. I think that's what I've heard someone explain, at least.
I don't really know much about that, but...
So, when it comes to my emotions, you could just say I'm highly emotional, a little dramatic, a little skeptical, a little suspicious, a little jealous, a little nervous. It's just kind of a big old sea storm inside. Notable Scorpios, if this helps, include Lord, Frank Ocean, Drake, Bjork. A lot of the artsy, deep-feeling, emotional, you wouldn't understand kind of people. Tessa's moon is in Sagittarius.
Yes.
Very different. Very different.
Is it? You can explain, because I don't know.
Well, this is my limited knowledge from what I've done, from what I've gathered at least. The Sagittarius is another fire sign, so similar to Aries.
Hey, baby.
It's passionate. It's energetic. It likes to move. It really doesn't like to be tied down. It really, really enjoys exploring topics as deep as possible and pushing the envelope. Sometimes without considering other people's feelings or reading the room very much. The Sagittarius is a little self-centered and self-motivated, so a lot of times will do whatever they can to make their goals be realized. And so they're very centered in that sense. And so emotionally speaking, I would say that Tessa's outward persona is probably a lot more parallel to how she feels inside, whereas I feel like I'm at odds all the time.
You're fighting.
I feel like I'm fighting.
You're fighting your inside.
Mm-hmm. Long story short, I think Tessa's ego and her inner self are a little more in check than mine. But
They're a little closer to each other.
Yeah, I think the way we outwardly project of being better than everyone, which we are, and being ambitious and motivated, probably also aligns with you deeply in an internal private level.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll say so.
I don't want to feed you lines at this point, but that's enough of my little rant. It's just kind of...
Well, I just know with feelings, the only thing that I have related to that whole situation in my inner feelings. I don't express, I guess, vulnerable feelings. Like I'll be excited and happy, and that'll be expressed inside and out. But when it gets to sad things or like disappointment, any feeling that's, I guess, kind of perceived negatively, I'm like, oh no, that's not me. Like I don't have.
You don't have them?
Well, I have them, but I don't like to express them or deal with them a lot. I'm kind of like, okay, it's happened. I didn't get the job. I didn't get the internship. I'm sad because this just happened. And why? Yeah, it's a sad thing. It makes you have these feelings. And I'm like, these feelings aren't fun. So we're not going to talk about it, you know? So if it's not a fun feeling, it's not going to be touched upon.
Where does it go then? Does it just stay there?
Maybe for a day it stays there and it kind of pops, in and out of my mind, and then maybe a couple, I don't know, it depends how big of the whatever happened, and then it's, why is this in my brain anymore? Why is this in my body? I don't want to feel this way, so we're just gonna not feel this way.
You just expel it and move on?
Yeah, you try to. You do fun things. You try to pretend. I don't know if pretend it didn't happen, but I think sometimes if you pretend something didn't happen, eventually it feels like it didn't happen. Right.
You're very much thinking, you know what, I want to keep that movement. I want to keep going.
There's no reason to, one bad thing happens here or there. I feel like it's pointless to dwell, at least for a long period. Sometimes, things have to be addressed and you have to think about things to, I guess, fix them and make things better.
Sure.
But when it's small things or even medium things, I'd say, it's, come on. It's just not... I don't know, I don't want to say it's stupid, but in my mind, I don't want to have this feeling if I do have this feeling, and I'm going to just find other things and other feelings that, we'll push it forward and make that go in the past. And you can think about it, you still remember those feelings and emotions, but it's gone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I remember, from what I have known about you, I've always found it funny how when you have feelings of like anger or sadness, you either tell me about it later like it was a joke, or if I'm ever able to catch you in the moment, you're very mad about it, yell it out, and then seem to be like, and then move on. Yeah, there's a lot of things I think I feel with anger. Sometimes it can go for a long time until I get to the point of the goal that I'm trying to get to. Because I'm angry, I'm gonna get revenge at this person, or something like that, or I'm gonna do something that's you screw with me and I'm gonna screw with you. And once it's done, it's almost like, oh, that happened, I don't even remember. It's so gone. It's so out of my mind. That's why things happen. People are like, you don't remember. Like, you just did this. It seemed like such a big deal. I'm like, it wasn't a big deal to me. Right. I'm gonna portray myself as well. This is a big deal. I was angry about it. I yelled at you, or this and this happened. But in the end, I'm like, that was nothing. That could have happened a year ago, or 5 minutes ago, and I would have the same memory of it. Interesting. I have on multiple occasions seen Tessa post on social media that she's having a bad time, and I'll usually go, "Hey, everything good?" And she'll just be like, "Yeah, why?" And I'm like, well, if you look at what you just last posted, it really seems like you could use some help, or like you need to talk to someone. And she's just kind of like, nah! Yeah, it's just gone. I feel like almost like the posting of it was the removal. Like, I get so angry, and if it's something, something stupid that just needs, like, it's done, it's out there. And then sometimes it'll be deleted if it's, because then it's like you look back and, oh, that wasn't fun. You gotta get rid of that. You gotta get rid of any evidence that happened. What? Yeah, like, it depends. It depends on what social media, if it's, if it's a private account, or if it's like Twitter, where, a lot of people, it's, not as deep. Even then, when you're mad, it feels like you're just having fun. Like, I remember when someone said, Tessa, you good? And you're like, what does it mean to be good? It's just like, yeah, it's almost like they just played into it, so now I can express it even more. I think so. It can be fun, but it can be annoying. Well, sure. What I see a lot is that you're comfortable expressing your emotions outwardly. Even if you don't like how they feel, they get out. Yeah. They get out, and then you forget they got out, and you keep moving on. Yeah. I bottle things up. I bottle things up a lot. Like, a little thing will come by me, and I'll get a little upset. Okay. And then I'll be like, Ross, it's really not worth bringing up right now for this reason. So you need to just keep it to yourself. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm calm. I'm collected. And then, I do forget about it for the day. Yeah. And then I go to bed at night, and I sit down, and I go... And it creeps in. It comes back, and it's like, hey, remember this? Or, what I found happens a lot, it just gets stored. And then I'm like, noted. And then I collect about 8 or 9
5
of them
years
from the
later,
same person.
You're divorced.
Right. Honestly, it's one of those things where, like, if, let's say you did something that bothered me, I'll be like, 1, and I store it. And then, like, maybe in 2 weeks, I'll have accumulated 9 little things.
That's really stressful.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because the other person doesn't know. And the fact that you have now announced it to the world.
Well, that's the thing. I don't announce it until there's a breaking point. So you have no idea that I have 9 little things in my head. And in my head, I can only handle 9. So you hand me a 10th thing without knowing, because you have no way of seeing what bothers me because I don't show you.
Yeah.
And then at the end I go, you know what? And then I go back and I list every certain little thing. And it's like, in that moment where it was really just one small incident, all of them come up and be like, hey, but remember this? And it's overwhelming. I can't handle it.
It seems very overwhelming. You should just be direct. And, let people know, because it'll fix it. The problem is, if you're storing one thing, and if that person knew say that one thing was stored, and say you did this and it kind of annoyed me or kind of made me angry, they can learn in that situation from your feedback. Yes. They didn't enjoy this, so I'm going to avoid this type of situation in the future. But instead, they don't get that feedback.
No, you're right. And so here's the thing. Again, I feel like, this is adolescence. We're all kind of I think everyone is watching me violently become aware of things, and then, clumsily try to navigate it all.
Try to fix it. Just really try to let people know.
Right, because like when I'm in a pretty good place. When I'm in a good place, I can recognize it and be like, that's a little ridiculous. But when I'm in the moment, I have no idea I'm doing it until it's too late. And someone brings it up, and then I was like, you really do be like that. And I go in a little circle, because, I just had a good thought about. So the thing is, I agree with you. I do think it's really good to bring it up directly. But I think one of the differences between you and I, again, which comes to that, what I think is the little moon part, and what I think is a part, I don't know if it's just Scorpio or just me being a little scared, but I don't feel like I can readily trust the other person will be able to receive what I'm actually feeling. So the bottling up isn't like, there's a reason I bottle it up. I'm not just like, you know what, it would be bad to do it. I'm like, you know what, I don't feel safe telling them that. And I don't know if you either feel safe or don't consider it. You just sort of say it. I don't
consider it. I'm like, this is how I feel, and you're gonna... You're gonna just hear it.
Right, and for me, I'm kind of like, I think if I do bring it up, they're gonna suddenly hate me, so I better keep it internally. There's like a weird kind of, like, it's a trust issue. I don't trust it will go well if I do bring it up. So, but what always happens is, there gets to a point where I can't handle it, and then it all comes up, and then someone's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, I didn't feel safe. So a lot of times what I find
works... So it's almost blaming...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a very unhealthy cycle when I'm with people, because it's unhealthy on both ends. Because, like, while I'm aware I have some toxic things I do, I don't think a lot of the ways... I don't feel like it's handled always the best by everybody, because, not everyone can be good for you. But a lot of times what I get is, like, I then feel shamed for acting how I normally do. And it's hard for me to change when I'm constantly in a place of feeling bad about how I live. So I've found what really works well for me are the type of people that can be patient and let me open up at a level I'm comfortable doing so. At the end of the day, I'm always going to select what I let out into the world. It's like almost a self-protection thing.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to handle that is not to have someone say, hey, let your guard down, it'll be fine. Demonstrate over time that I'm allowed to let my guard down, and let me test the waters by slowly doing it, realizing it's okay. And so it's like, I think for other people it's probably exhausting, and it will take a long time to see. But it really is a lot of like, I need to test the waters myself, and I need you to, like, kind of like a dog, how they always say, like, just hold your hand out and let it sniff you. I just need to be able to sniff for a good time before I can do so. And like really test how I grow close to people. Because when I get there, and when I'm close to people, I'm close. I'm very loyal, I'm very attached, very intimate. It just takes me a long time to get there. And the thing that always scares me is one little misstep brings me miles back. So.
Dang. I think with the whole dog thing, mine goes back right back to Aries, because I enjoy the confrontation.
Yes.
I'm gonna go and say this to you, and whether it's I'm angry at you or I'm telling you feelings, like I want you. I guess it's only anger if it's confrontation.
Right.
Like, so if it's a dog, I'm here and I am ready. I'm like running up to it about the scale. Like, and it's gonna be a standoff.
Right, and I think you're almost of the belief that like if they bite me, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, if they bite me, my arm will fall off and I'll die. It's because I think a lot of people from the outside are like, he just wants to make drama, which when I'm in a good mood, sometimes it's fun. But most of the time, I want to be calm. Like, I'd love to be relaxed, or at least having fun and like internally having a good time. But like, I don't don't like feeling this way. I just do at times. And what I think is very hard is I've had people tell me that it's like wrong to feel this way, and I don't like that either. I think what it means is that I need to find people that are able to be patient with me.
And accept how you work. Basically.
Right, in a similar way, yeah. And so I think what is fascinating is like while we both have our fire suns and like outwardly project as very energetic, ambitious people, I don't want to say like this contradicts anything I've said in the past. It's just we're all complex people. Mm-hmm. There's a second part to it. And I think what's fascinating if you look a little further is that Tessa still has that fire moon. So she's fire, baby. You know, she's burning.
Like, take it.
Right. And I've got a water moon. So I've got big old fire, deep storm inside. So you either get very hot boiling water or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's different. It's a different thing. And I think that if you, the viewer, are getting to know us, it's something you will appreciate and realize over time. For someone who doesn't know us, they'll only see the outward part, you know, the Aries kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to like because both fire and fire, and I guess it's all just flames. But even when I in the first episode when I said I feel like I'm very standoffish because it's very upfront, bold in your in your face kind of deal with it, even with the emotions, and that could be really. I feel like it could be really scary for people to say, well, you know, are you okay? And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is nothing, you know. And they can be like, what? So they must think it's so interesting. I'm just blasting flames, like I have a flamethrower and I'm just like, everyone burn!
Right. I think I just assume people are like me and I'm like drawn to sadness. Not like I like being sad, but I think I'm sensitive to it with other people and I notice it and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if Tessa's having a hard time and doesn't know how to articulate herself? I've been there. That's hard. Let me be patient like I'd like someone to be patient with me and see if I can be there for her in that way. And then she goes, what are you talking about? So I'm just like, it's a very...
Yeah, I feel like it's good. Because, you know, you're there. Whether or not we have different things, we don't know how everyone operates. We can't just guess by their astrology.
That's right.
So we can approach them and say, hey, I don't know if this is something that's concerning and you're trying to express it this way or that way, but if you do, I'm here. Are you good? You know, what's happening?
Right. I'll be like, my Scorpio sees you, and you'll just be like, you know? I remember once I said, it's okay to feel sad, and what did you say in response to that?
I said, well, that's dumb. So I'm like, why dwell on it?
Right.
Why is it, if it's sad, I'm sad, it's not going to be for long.
Right.
Stupid.
I think these are different types of personalities, but at the end of the day, while to some people it may come off as like suspicious and trust issues, I think on another token for me it means perceptive, sensitive, and patient in some senses. The Aries makes that comment.
I would say for emotions and stuff, yes.
Sure.
You are very willing to sit and talk and be there for people if they're...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and on your token, where it could come off as just aggressive, harsh, and squashing emotions, I think there's another part to it that is more motivated, optimistic, and able to brush things off easily. Like, you have thick skin, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Honestly, I admire it. Like, I see you handle certain things, and I'm like, damn, my life would be easier if I could just do it that way.
And just kind of forget about it.
Yeah, so it's like, we can learn from each other.
Well, even with helping people, it's not always the best thing, but I feel like I can be very upfront and tell people what needs to be heard.
Some people need that.
And I feel like that's kind of an emotional aspect, where I'm not good to always help people, but I can be there to tell you, this is the logical thing.
Yeah. I feel like we can learn from each other, though.
We can.
You know? And so, this is the part where we turn to the audience and say, do you know your moon sign? Because you may know your sun sign, and maybe you'll be like some of us at some point and say, you know what? Let me pop my elbow. Okay. You know, they'll be like, you know, I just don't relate to this sun sign. That's okay. That's okay. Consider looking into your moon and see if that makes things a little more complicated. Because I didn't identify with certain Aries things for a long time, but then I realized that Aries doesn't always just mean anger. I think it's about passion. I think it's about energy, and I think it's about ambition. And it's the moon that just enriches your character and makes certain parts different. So go online and just type in birth chart. All you need to know is where you were born and when you were born, and the stars will do the rest.
Yeah, explore a little bit.
Explore a little bit. Hee hee.